I guess, do I address you as Stormy or?
Yeah, you could call me Stormy. That's fine. That's fine. A weirdo with a helmet on his head. I'm very happy to actually be here with you. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Stacking Stormtrooper. And with me today is Andrew Lee, CEO of Phoenix Gold. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing well. Pleasure to be
Um,
here.
yeah, I was just talking to you before we started recording, and you said you've been on some other channels also, and it's very exciting to always talk with another mining company who has some really great projects in the pipeline. And I've been looking at your website and reading about your company, and before I start talking to you about some of the projects that you have going on, this has been a really, crazy year for commodities. A lot of people have been saying to me in some of my comments, Stormy, have you seen what copper is doing? What is your take on copper and things of that nature? And I'm like, I don't know about copper. I don't follow it enough. And, it really has had a tremendous year. What are some of your observations regarding this commodities rally?
Well, I mean, I think it's a result of sort of the fiscal policies of banks around the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you inject that kind of print that much money, the result is we saw it happen not too long ago
Mm-hmm.
when we had the financial crisis. So it's not just gold; it's other commodities like copper, zinc, and they've all benefited. And it's I think it's a good way for people to sort of balance out what's happening in the world by
Right.
having exposure um, to some of the assets that are appreciating in value.
Yeah. Yeah. And, one of the things too, because I know you said you were checking out my channel a little bit and you're probably scratching your head like, what on earth am I doing talking to this guy? And, I typically am always just talking about silver and gold. I really don't talk a lot about copper and other commodities just because it's not necessarily my space, commodities in general. But when it comes to copper, there's definitely people in my niche on YouTube in the silver and gold community who are very bullish on copper, whether they are stacking it themselves and hoarding it in their homes or they're buying it, on paper. But Goldman Sachs recently was saying that this is a super cycle for commodities, and I'm curious as to why you believe the fundamentals support this as being a bull market, and why it's still not too late for people to kind of get in now.
Oh yeah, I think we're just getting started because I think what's happened in the years where there's a transition that's happening in terms of industry.
Mm-hmm.
The green economy, after the elections in the US,
Mm-hmm.
I think is you're going to see a lot more activity on things to promote sort of the green economy,
Yeah.
electric cars,
Yeah.
wind turbines, and all of those things require tons and tons, millions of tons of copper. Typical electric car has probably 5 times the amount of copper in it versus a regular gas combustion car. So yeah, no, it's the commodity cycle, not just copper, but copper is accentuated by the fact that we also have this um, demand that is coming.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so,
And to speak on that too, recently I posted a video talking about gold, reasons why people should be stacking gold. And I get a lot of comments saying, well, what about silver? Silver has so much use in various industries and what have you. And, that's definitely another reason why I personally buy it myself. And I also promote silver as well. But it's interesting that you do bring up copper because, honestly speaking, copper is one of those metals that I typically don't stack, and
Yeah.
stacking is just like another term of basically hoarding metals, right? And copper, if
Yep.
you're looking to stack copper, you're going to need like a warehouse full, because it's, generally speaking, it's less expensive than silver and gold. But the fact that what you're saying too is just with the, the green economy and the clean initiatives that are going to be pushing forward, copper is going to definitely have a huge demand for sure.
Hmm.
And, also with that inflation, I mean, that's been a really hot topic. As you know, too, the United States just recently passed a $1.9 trillion spending bill, which is giving $1,400 checks in the hands of many Americans. So will it continue?
Hmm. Well, I'm not a economist, or I'm not a analyst or anything like that, but I mean, for me, just common sense says that, if you have inflation, means that the dollar is weakening, and
Mm-hmm.
what always happens with that is, people always go back to gold as being sort of the security
They do.
for a weakening dollar. So, I think, getting back to your stacking concept, warehousing tons of copper probably isn't the best idea.
No,
But one way you can stack is through, the companies who are in that space. And
absolutely.
I think that's probably one of the best ways of capturing sort of these bull cycles, like these bull market cycles. We saw it happen, at the during the financial crisis, and when the money's flowed, when the it kind of flowed through the banks. This time around, the money is flowing almost directly to the citizens and individuals, as like here. I'm assuming it's the same in the U.S. On
Mm-hmm.
the Canadian side, the governments were sending out checks,
Mm-hmm.
just to keep everything stimulated.
Yep.
It has to go somewhere.
Yes.
Right now, I think the banks are sitting on a lot of cash because people just, like you said, stacking. So they stacked a lot of cash.
Yep.
Well, now they're realizing, if I hold cash, my cash might not hold the same value. So now they're buying other things, and one of the effects is commodities.
Right.
And totally agree with you. I think gold is going to be in for one hell of a run. Probably in the summer, we're going to see much higher prices than what we're seeing today.
Yeah. And we've recently been seeing a pullback, which, a lot of people are starting to take advantage of. They're trying to buy some physical metals, specifically gold, right now, because they say that they're buying, the dip, and they're trying to accumulate some while there is this brief pullback. But like you're mentioning, most likely, possibly summer, you're going to start seeing things taking off again. And going to your point about not necessarily housing warehouses full of copper, and that you should be kind of really doing it with paper and stock. I do want to talk about your company, Phoenix Gold Resources. You're the founder of a company that stands to capitalize on paper from this bull market in gold and copper and zinc. And so I'm just curious if you can explain, some of the projects that you have going on and what's unique about these projects.
Absolutely. Start to analyze outside the box a little bit of, hey, can we do some form of small scale mining?
Mm-hmm.
These are all the things that we're looking forward to as soon as, I guess, the pandemic measures start to ease up,
Yeah.
to get our foot on the ground and really examine what we actually have, and see how we can best exploit, and drive value. So we are developing a program to, once again, get the drills going.
Yeah.
We want to twin some of the holes. We want to prove up the resource there, because when Miranda operated, I think there was a historical reserve number of about 200,000 tons. And, I think the grades are roughly around 2% copper, 7% zinc. And those are both metals that have done extremely well recently. Copper is almost at an all-time high. And we think with the green economy that it's
Going to keep
we're
pushing
going
further.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a good point too, because a lot of people they'll look at all-time highs, and then they'll usually, most times, and people that I speak to anyway, they'll say, "Oh, it's near its all-time high. XYZ is too expensive. I'm going to wait until it comes back down again." But what a lot of people don't realize is, depending on what's going on, it's almost arbitrary that those prices don't necessarily mean anything. And so to what your point is even though we're near an all-time high and had a bullish run for copper, it's still poised to do tremendous things based on the industry demand that's right around the corner. And talking further too about your company, who are some of Phoenix Gold's major shareholders?
Yeah, I mean the insiders control about 20, a little over 20% of the shares outstanding. Our close business associates, friends, family, and others. Together collectively, we probably have about 50%, maybe a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
of the shares that are outstanding after. We restructured the company last year, and basically we wanted to have a very tight structure.
So now, what are some of your plans to execute in 2021 specifically?
Our priority is to get to a resource, and the best way to do that is to twin some of the holes, and to prove up sort of just follow in the footsteps of some of the previous companies that have explored and had some success there. So same thing for Nevada. Nevada is a little bit more multidimensional,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that instead of it's being a straightforward exploration play, there's other ideas. There's consolidation that we're considering. There's also exploitation. I'm a big fan of heap leach, and I've been studying it and talking to as many guys as I can talk to
Mm-hmm.
about possibly see how we can extract some of that gold and silver out of that oxide,
Yeah.
and maybe be able to supply you with some gold coins.
Oh, hey, sign me up. I'm down. And looking at your site too, it seems like a really great opportunity, and I always enjoy doing these types of videos because there are some really good opportunities for stackers to kind of step outside of the realm of just owning physical silver and gold, and really start investing in the companies who are putting these precious metals that they hold so closely and dearly, to start actually investing in the companies that are pulling the stuff out of the ground. And just quick question too, before we wrap up, can viewers approach you directly to ask you any questions? I mean, you're a very
Absolutely.
personable, down to earth guy. So I'm just kind of curious as to what your take is on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the best email to reach me at is pxagold@gmail.com. And absolutely, I would love to hear from anyone, even if it's not to talk about gold or silver, if it's something else.
Awesome.
I'm always open, and you can reach me anytime.
That's awesome. I'll make sure to put the links down below in the description. And I appreciate your time, Andrew. I'm hoping that you and I will speak again real soon and check on the progress of these two locations. And again, thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I just want to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, I'm the Stacking Stormtrooper. Check out these videos. Until next time, long live the Empire.